Hey everyone, hope you're having a nice day so far today. So, there once lived a powerful Dark Lord of the Sith, clad in a terror-inducing black mask, who commanded great armies and struck fear into his enemies through his immense prowess with the dark side of the Force, and nearly unrivaled lightsaber skills. And no, I'm not talking about the one with the respirator issues. This Sith ruled thousands upon thousands of years before A New Hope. He was called the Lord of Hate and Master of the Gathering Darkness. His name was Tulak Hord, one of the most powerful Sith Lords of all time. Some would even argue he was the most powerful Sith to have ever lived. Regardless, powerful he was. From early on, Tulak Hord demonstrated a great proficiency with the dark side, as he quickly rose through the ranks of the early Sith Empire, striking fear in his rivals with his mastery in the art of lightsaber combat, telekinesis, and manipulation of the Force. In his youth, he fought an honorable duel against a large reptilian humanoid assassin named Khemdval, who was a Dashade, a tough and ferocious species that were notable for their partial resistance to the Force. Winning the duel, he did something very uncharacteristic for a Sith. He sparred the Dashade, turning Khemdval into the most faithful ally that he could find. Soon after, with his massive followers, Tulak Hord led a campaign of terror-crushing militants on the planets Yin and Kabash, who had rebelled against the Sith. During the campaign, however, another Sith named Aloysius Calig approached Tulak about serving him, but Tulak did not think much of Aloysius and dismissed him quickly. Not accepting the refusal, though, Aloysius challenged Tulak's greatest general to prove himself, and he won. Impressed by his victory, Tulak accepted Aloysius as his new general, placing him in charge of many of his troops, which he would lead to numerous victories in Tulak's name. During these battles, Tulak Hord would utilize his knowledge of Sith rituals to drain and feed off the strength of his opponents. Undefeated and slaughtering all who dared to oppose him, Tulak Hord finally earned the title of Dark Lord of the Sith. Discovering and subjugating the Dromund system, Tulak was believed to have conquered over 100 worlds for the Sith Empire. However, even though as his general, Aloysius' military ingenuity provided the Dark Lord with many great victories, Tulak began to grow apprehensive of his commander, as he feared Aloysius' strength was growing to such a degree that he was becoming a dangerous rival. So, he arranged Aloysius' assassination, and while his body was allowed to be entombed on the Sith planet of Dromund Kaas, Aloysius' family still went into hiding to avoid a similar fate. Tulak Hord further continued his studies of Sith sorcery, writing down many tomes containing his vast knowledge of the dark arts, as well as constructing his own Sith holocron. But not wishing for just anyone to discover his secrets, he scattered much of his teachings in hidden and hard locations to reach, in order to make sure that only those worthy would uncover what he knew. It was even rumored that he might have learned the secret to eternal life. The Dark Lord of the Sith had only one apprentice during his life, which is not unusual for a Sith Lord in the rule of two, but for the ancient Siths, it was very rare. But for Tulak, only Ortan Chella proved worthy of his teachings. In appreciation of the honorable relationship he had built with his most trusted ally, the Dashade assassin, Khemdval, Tulak Hord had his servant and ally placed inside a stasis chamber in suspended animation deep within the future tomb of another great ancient Sith Lord named Nagasado. This was all in the Valley of Dark Lords on the Sith planet Korriban. As is the consequence of most Sith masters and apprentice relationships, Ortan Chella would betray Tulak Hord not long afterwards by stabbing his master literally in the back. Ortan had his own Dashade servant named Veshik Urk, who he had consumed the dying Sith Lord's Force energy. Tulak Hord was then himself entombed within the Valley of Dark Lords, and his writings, holocron, and menacing black mask were also with him. Many traps were placed to keep looters away and to serve as obstacles to test the worth of any knowledge-seeking Sith who dared to venture inside. As the conclusion of a war fought centuries later between the Republic and the Sith, known as the Great Hyperspace War, Korriban was bombed, and much of the histories of Tulak Hord was lost or destroyed in the devastation, though his tomb remained undisturbed, until at an even later date, during yet another crisis between the Jedi and the Sith, In what is referred to as the Jedi Civil War, the amnestic Jedi named Revan entered his tomb and confiscated the Dark Lord's so iconic black mask. Hope you guys enjoyed today's Legends video about Tulak Hord. He's a pretty cool Sith Lord. If you liked it, leave a like on this video. Help support the channel like that, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Now, fulfill